John, back now in the NBA. What does it mean to you to be back in the NBA? You were a player for a long time, a head coach for a long time, and now you're back in the NBA. What does the NBA mean to John Lewis?
Well, you know, that's my business. It's my family business. After I last coached in Cleveland, I saw there was such a great need with younger players coming to the league that player development was needed. So I wanted to help coaches by trying to create a player development, which was also would help the game of basketball. And now I'm back coaching and enjoying it.
It would have been fun, I guess, in some ways, if you were still in Cleveland getting to deal with a LeBron James. But what does someone like that mean to the NBA? Obviously, kind of, you know, Jordan-esque in that regard, I think, where the aura is really building up. Obviously, you have Kobe, but LeBron's really building into that form.
Well, LeBron, I could see that was our main purpose when I was in Cleveland, is to get to where we could have gotten a LeBron James. And they did, and it's really done a lot for that franchise, because it's hard to get free agents to go to Cleveland. So, especially with the taxes and the dollar that are involved in the state taxes. But it's been really good, really enjoyable to see LeBron's development. And I think that it's just more good young players that are at such a young age. Dwight Howard, Josh Smith, Dwayne Wade, Bosh out of Chris Bosh. We just got so many young players coming that our league is in good hands.
I'm sure the NBA has really replenished their talent, it appears, right now. And looking at different eras in basketball, the 80s, the 90s, and to now, what do you say is the main difference between those different time periods and today where we are?
I think the time periods are about the same. I just think that the basketball always changes. In the early 80s, 70s, and 80s, we all had centers. Then with the European influence, they've gone from having big guys who could play out on the perimeter to now that there are now no specialists. Everybody's a great athlete who are playing out of positions, are playing positions from an athletic base rather than primarily a skill base.
Those 7-footers are practically point guards these days. Everybody's able to pretty much do everything on the floor. It's a very good point. You have a great rapport with players. That's something that you've always been known for. In fact, I saw a comment the other day that I read. It could have been taken out of context, but it was pretty funny. You were talking about Baron Davis, and you said, well, you know, now he's playing like the old BD, not the old-ass BD. You know, most people can't get away with that, but you do, and you not only get love for it, but you get a big hug. Talk about your rapport with the players.
Well, first of all, I love all our players, and I love the players that I have a chance to work with, and I think that being a former player helps. And I think that one of the things that happens when players have been in our league for a long time is that they get complacent, and we have to get them to drive to keep them motivated to play. This is a very hard grind year after year. That's why you have to appreciate the beauty of what Michael Jordan, the Kobe Bryant, the LeBron James are doing, because it's year after year that you have to be at that level. So, you know, BD has really worked hard. I love trying to help players identify their talents to put into the system that their team is wanting them to do.
And you've helped players consistently throughout, certainly on the court, but off the court as well. You know, your relationship with them in the rehab facilities that you've developed, and the personal relationships off the court, really helping to aid players. You know, discuss that a little bit, how you've been able to mature players, and when they first come to you and say, you know, I have a problem or I need some help, what's that like?
Well, you know, it's hard to tell somebody a sermon if you haven't lived what you're preaching. And so in a lot of cases, I've lived the experiences that I've talked about, and I've helped develop some players that have gone to very, very high levels, including my two boys. One is playing in Shanghai, and the other is at Texas playing. He was a McDonald's All-American, and my other son was playing the league. So I think that living the experience and really the time and commitment, you know, unlike the internet and talking on all the things we are doing now, basketball is the hard work. You got to roll your sleeves up and get the work done. We can't Google a jump shot. You can't Google some defense. You got to go play it.
You got to sweat, you got to earn it, you got to learn it. And it's interesting, though, as you talk about how the off-the-court situation, you know, you saw in Major League Baseball last year or two where players actually coming out and saying, yes, I've got depression issues, anxiety, Justin Dorchester, Zach Greinke, Joey Votto, all different reasons that they've come out with. And there's a myriad of players, Dontrelle Willis and Khalil Green, Do you see that in other forms that, you know, lead to other things? And it's interesting that now, after all these years, players are starting to talk about it. It's starting to come out. They're going on, even disabled is taking 60 days off. I mean, it's a little bit more recognized. How do you feel about those types of situations?
Well, we've always had living problems. We just, through media, has always been able to be kept quiet. Now with so much social networking and so much media outlets, the best thing to do is to come forward. And what we realize, just because they're paid a lot of money, doesn't mean they are not human beings. And sometimes I think we as a society forget that they shouldn't have any problem because they're supposed to have all this money.
Back with the Clippers now as an assistant coach, an exciting young team, a lot of talent there. Talk about some of the players, the young players on the team, and then trying to get them to gel and learn in the NBA.
Well, you know, right now we're 11-13. Blake Griffin is yet to play a regular season game. We can hold him forward and he come on. I think we got a chance to really. Byron Davis is having a heck of a year. So is Marcus Camby and the player Chris Cannon. So what we've got to do is stay healthy, hold our fort, and I think we can slip in the 6th, 7th, or 8th spot in the West. The West is tough, but if we can win the games we're supposed to, I think we have a great shot.
What does someone like Byron Davis mean to someone like Eric Gordon, who's really got tremendous talent and really just needs to learn and mature in the NBA? And also you as a former guard, how are you guys able to help him?
Well, the two are beginning to gel, and I don't know if that went on last year. Eric can really shoot the ball. BD can really pass the ball, and I think the last 2 games, Eric has had 29 and BD has had double figures assists and points. So there's a nice flow between them in the way that they're playing. We've got to build on that, but the key starts with Byron Davis.
John, we know you're here in New York. Obviously, a little bit colder here than LA, but we hope you enjoy your stay for a couple of days at least.
Good. I really enjoyed it, and thanks to LockerBlogger and you having me on the talk show.
John, appreciate a couple minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Good. Thank you.